Do you wish you knew exactly how to write a sales post to attract soulmate clients using the most powerful gifts from your astrology chart? Well, guess what? Now you can learn how for free. I'm going to share my cosmic copywriting secrets that have helped people to instantly turn strangers on the internet into buyers for their high-ticket offers. In my 5-part training series, Cosmic Attraction Copywriting, you'll learn the mindset switch that takes my clients from feeling confused about their content or not feeling fully safe to share their story online to making sales more easily and naturally than ever before, with the astrological placement that unlocks a new level of depth in your storytelling that builds trust 10 times faster with the clients who are genuinely a very aligned fit to work with you. Plus, the messaging tweaks that take my clients from attracting people who can't afford it to easy sales into 5-figure offers with no sales calls. And you'll get clarity on the 3 things your soulmate clients need to hear from you consistently in your message to feel confident and excited to buy your offer. You'll also get my writing process prompts to share your story in a powerful way that stands out to the right people and leads to ready to buy clients popping up into your DMs asking to work with you. Click the link in the description for instant access to Cosmic Attraction Copywriting. This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a 6-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Creative Magic Club podcast. I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. We have Rachel Levine, who is an imperfect human committed to living intuitively wild, following her intuition and helping others do the same. She's a yoga therapist, human design guide, and herbalist, host of the Intuitively Wild podcast and Substack, and she's currently opening a ceremonial space, apothecary, and studio for connection in upstate New York. Hi, Rachel.
Hello, Sarah. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this conversation because also, so for those of you who want to know, Rachel is a Virgo Sun and Moon and she's a Scorpio Rising. And we also have the same human design. Well, not exactly. We're both 5/1 manifesting generators. Rachel's an emotional authority. I am a sacral authority. So I just did an interview on her podcast and we were like definitely getting into some Virgo vibes. So I'm excited to hear more about that because obviously, yeah, you're like a living embodiment of the power of Virgo with your herbalism and the work that you do with yoga. So why don't you tell us how you got to doing all of these magical things? Like, what's your story?
It's a long, winding story as speaking to my manifesting generator-ness. But for me, it really all started with yoga. I got into it pretty early on in high school and fell in love with it and thought it would be my path for forever. I thought I was going to be the yogi, go deep in that. And it really helped me a lot with my mental health journey, the anxiety I was experiencing. And so I just did all the trainings I could. I eventually went back to grad school for yoga therapy and really poured myself into that. And while I was doing that, I went into treatment for an eating disorder, and within that found that I needed to separate myself from the yoga world a bit in certain capacities. And then I found herbalism and found a lot of healing through that, especially just my connection to nature and seasonal living and how that has become such a core part of my spirituality. And that led me to becoming also a tea ceremony guide. I did a apprenticeship with a mentor for herbalism in England, and also just found myself talking about human design all the time and becoming really obsessed with it. So I decided to study that. And all of these things kind of compounded on top of each other and weaved their ways into each other. And now I don't, and we talked about this actually on my podcast yesterday, how I don't see myself as a yoga therapist or as an herbalist. I mean, I do identify in that way, but they're just tools I use to help others connect to themselves and help others live intuitively and intentionally. And that's more all encompassing and feels more authentic to my work.
Okay, so I want to hear about how you deal with being a manifesting generator and the continual urge to have 5,000 hobbies because I'm like on the brink of herbalism right now. Like I've started collecting tincture bottles from ones that I've bought. You know, I've got like some books in my cart and like I've sussed out some suppliers, but I'm like, oh, Sarah, like, do you really have the time for this? You know, or is it going to be, I'm just going to like spend all this money on things and then it's going to like sit on it's going to take up space that we don't have in our small apartment. It's never good. The tinctures are never going to get made or, you know, how do you deal with that? I'm also fantasizing about designing and sewing my own clothes. Don't even have a sewing machine. Like, what's that process like for you? And how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think a couple things come up for me, and I think it's different for everyone. Part of it is being an emotional authority. I really have to sit and wait and process and see what feels good over time. And you being a sacral authority can just be like, okay, in this moment, this is what I'm excited about. But for me, I always have to take that pause and process. And so that can help me sort through things. And the other piece that really comes into play is my Virgo-ness. Like I'm able to be very discerning and be like, no, I get that that sounds fun and exciting for right now, but what is my big picture? What truly feels like what I need to devote myself to? And I'm so devoted to my work right now and what I want to bring to the world. So focusing on the ways that I can hone in on those aspects feels most important to me. And other things will spark my interest here and there. And like, of course, I'll let myself follow that and go down that rabbit hole. But for what I'm really pouring myself into, I feel very focused. And the discernment piece is very, it does come naturally to me. The Virgo in me can be really focused in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I definitely find that it's helpful when I'm really immersed in projects and that those like periphery distractionary ideas will tend to like fade into the background. So yeah, I like that. I think that is the answer where it's like really the more you pour yourself into your true priorities, the less those distractionary things tend to take hold. But I will say that I think you can go too far in that direction in my experience, where it's like if I don't have some places to let off steam and to just play and to create and to do it in a very unstructured, like goal oriented way, then those priorities that I'm devoted to will tend to get a little bit stagnant, or I tend to like grasp at them or like get a little bit too controlling. Do you have like other hobbies that are kind of like serve that function for you?
Yeah, well, I will say that that is very true for me as well. I am a very structured, scheduled person, and I actually have to schedule into my schedule unstructured time and be like, especially right now, this day for me is Sundays. Like I try to have as minimal plans, as little structure. I just wake up and see what I'm feeling, see what I feel pulled towards, what my energy is calling me to, and allow that empty space and for me to just kind of like flow within that. So that feels so important to me. And hobbies outside, I mean, really, maybe it's just also because of where I'm at with my work right now. Like I'm working on opening the physical space and it's happening very soon. So I'm really just so like that's taking up so much of my time and energy and I'm so excited about it. So I want to be doing that. So a lot of my extra free playtime is also playing with interior design for that and playing with different ideas for the offerings and but doing it in a way that feels fun. Like I also have times when that feels more structured and more work mode, and then times when that is just like Pinterest boarding and goal, like dream visioning or whatever, it's like much more fluid, but it all does seem to tie its way back to my work in some way, shape, or form right now. Although I do also love hiking and just being in nature and traveling, but I guess I don't know, those also feel connected to my, because it all comes out in my writing. It's like I'm always thinking about what I'm writing. I don't know. So I guess I do have other things, but it all feels so intertwined. So.
Yeah, I fully feel that. Um, I fully feel that so hard. And I think I struggle with that boundary sometimes too. Like I definitely have to do that for myself where it's like weekends are a hard boundary for me. Especially Sundays. Yeah, I like to have no plan. That works really well. Like also with evenings, I tend to have a pretty good cut off and like I don't work after a certain time. Because if I start to break that boundary, that's when it's like I start to overextend myself. Um, but yeah, I can really oscillate between trying to be super structured and optimized and focused. And then I can sometimes resist being in that kind of like creative play in my work because I'm like, oh no, like I want to do something that's completely unrelated to my work. But then I have to resist the urge to turn that into a project. Like I just started painting again and I was like, I want to start a painting business. And it's like, what is it? It's just, I guess it's the creative entrepreneurial gene that just like sees the potential in everything and wants to create so many things. I'm feeling that so hard right now.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And because I'm very strict with my morning ritual. Like I don't touch my phone first thing in the morning. I journal, I meditate, I walk Theo outside, my dog, and I am like my mornings are so important to me and so sacred to me. And same with my evenings. Like after 8:30 p.m., my phone goes away. I'm reading my book, we're winding down, and that's so important to me. But even in my morning rituals, I'm like writing down ideas that I have for things to create. And so it's always coming, but I think that's also just because I think, and you can tell me if this feels true for you, but we're both creative people. And so no matter what we're doing, like ideas are coming. And when we're playing and connecting to that inner part of ourselves, that's when the creativity can come out even more. And it's just natural for us to want to pour that into our work and how we're impacting the world. So yeah, it's all that, like that's why it's so intertwined. Like I don't feel like my work, like I can separate my work life from my personal life because it all just is who I am.
Yeah, I totally feel that. So tell me about your podcast because what really like stands out about your brand is I don't know, like first of all, I think the title's really powerful, intuitively wild. Like, I think our titles can do so much for us in that way when we like really choose those words with intention. Like wild is such a key word for me that is something that I just embody and that really encapsulates the way that I do things and the way that I want to live in the way that I do business and the way that I create. Um, and I make so many connections with people through their podcast titles. Like I'm like, if I resonate with your title and it's a good title, then like I know we're gonna collaborate and it's gonna be a good experience. So it's like testament to the power of titles. And I feel like, yeah, like your brand and your aesthetic, even like how you carry yourself, your voice and your tone, just it gives like an instant, it really encapsulates that vibe. So talk to me about like how much of that was just an intuitive process, how much of that was a kind of like intentionally curated process for you. I'm very curious about how you birthed that.
Yeah, well, the names, but I mean, it definitely has all been intuitively led. And intuition and intention are like my core pillars. Like that's how I live my life. And if we're talking specifically about the title, so the name Intuitively Wild came to me before I even thought about starting a podcast, before I even thought about sharing much of anything. I just knew I wanted to start putting bits and pieces of myself online. I had completely been off social media for a very long time, and that really served me, but it also was a way to kind of hide myself and stay very private. And so I was creating this blog and making this decision to start sharing some of my writings, and I came up with this name, and it really just came to me. Like, I don't remember how it came to me, but what I will say is that before I was living in Hawaii, and this is when I went off all social media and was kind of off the grid. I was living in Hawaii and I walked barefoot a lot. And when I had this dream one time of getting in trouble for walking barefoot. And on my foot, I had the tattoo, Stay Wild. And so when I got back to the States, although I had to stop walking barefoot as much, I did get the tattoo, Stay Wild. And for me, that symbolizes staying connected to who I truly am and keeping that inner guidance that's moving me forward and not letting anyone tell me to conform or shrink or be someone that I'm not. So the word wild has always been really powerful and important to me, and I think that that's part of where it came from.
It's kind of cool thinking about how you have really strong Virgo energy with your sun and your moon and your Mercury in Virgo. And it's like, because Virgo is really known for structure and organization and analysis, but it also represents like that earth energy. And so it's kind of cool to think about the juxtaposition of those two ideas. And because obviously intuitively wild is like that. Our intuition is wild, right? Like we don't associate our intuition with something that's like logical or ordered or predictable even. Like we consider it as the opposite of all of those things. But nature is wild and we are nature. So I'm curious, like, how do those two energies play out for you like that? You've talked a lot about being very structured, and like being organized and being process oriented. So how do you navigate those parts of yourself with the parts that just want to be wild and like have no, you know, have no walls?
Yeah, again, so many things I can say to this. I've been thinking about this a lot as we are in Virgo season right now, and I feel like a lot of people have misconceptions about what Virgo energy is and the totality of who she is, because really she is a mutable sign. Like, even though she's very structured and action oriented and tangible, earthy, grounded, she's mutable. She's always changing. She's going with the flow. And like, she is this transition because we're also, I feel like we're not really in summer anymore, but we're not in fall. And she's kind of this just like liminal space and doing it all, everything that she does is also like service led, heart led. And so I feel like Virgo is more intuitive and flowy than people give her credit for. And the way she's able to be that way is because she's so grounded. Like, you can't be fully, safely intuitive and connected to that flowing energy if you don't have the structures in place. It's like I like to think of a river. You have the riverbank and that structure, and then once that's in place, the water can just flow freely. And if that structure is not in place around it, it's just a puddle. It's just a flood. And so Virgo has both. She has the structure in place, set, and she makes sure that it is looking good. And then she has that ability to flow freely. So I really find that that balance comes quite naturally to me. Sometimes in certain areas of my life, I can be too rigid and controlling, but that comes up when I'm too tapped into this unhealthy side of me, like when certain past traumas or other things are coming into play or my anxiety is really rearing its head. That's when I lean in too much to the rigidity, and that's when I know, okay, I really need to lean into my rituals that allow me to find that safety again.
The Cosmic Copy Mastermind is the place to get the support that will bring your dream of becoming a six-figure creative to life in 2025 by selling your high-ticket offers with sales copy driven by stories and guided by astrology. Your goal is to fill your high-ticket offer with dreamy soul clients. But right now, you're wondering what exactly needs to shift in your content to start seeing consistent sales month after month, right? You're posting consistently, and maybe you're even getting great engagement, but you can't quite figure out why people aren't lining up to buy your life-changing offer. You know your work is incredible. Maybe you're even getting a ton of referral clients, but when it comes to putting your unique magic into words that clearly paint the picture of what it's actually like to work with you, it feels complicated. Or maybe you keep getting in your head about your high-ticket prices and thinking that that's the problem. Well, let me tell you, it's not your price. You're not alone in this. It's not easy to put your magic into clear copy that converts when you try to do it alone. I've made multiple six figures in my business, and I've written copy for more than 1,000 entrepreneurs, and I continually invest in mentorship around messaging. Why? Because it makes it easier to consistently create content that leads to sales every month. That's why I created this mastermind, where we'll use your astrology chart to remind you of your unique genius, gifts, and personal story, using personalized prompts with my hands-on support and edits to translate all your magic into content that's building your six-figure brand in a way that feels authentic, aligned, and so much fun. This is my magic, helping you to attract deeply compatible clients through authentic storytelling driven by your unique astrology, and doing it in an inspiring community of other creative entrepreneurs making big moves, living life to the full, and building your version of a six-figure dream business. Message me the word mastermind on Instagram at SarahMacMagic for the full details. Yeah, that particular lesson is hitting me so hard right now, and I feel like I'm like graduating to the next level of my Virgo rising in really understanding that of like, yeah, for me, it's, and especially as a manifesting generator too, and as a sacral authority, where it's like, I have to be excited to flow into something. Like, what's working well for me is having those clear boundaries. And right now what's working is like, okay, from 9 till 12, that's my time. That's my creative time to work on my top priorities. I know what my top priorities are that I want to make progress on during that time. But once I'm within that, I let myself create however I want to create and really, really like focus on whatever area of those projects is most lighting me up. And I feel like that's such a big breakthrough for me. And obviously I've succeeded at this in different ways, but like that specific understanding of having the container and being quite rigid about that and really, like the power of having a hard boundary of like what needs to happen outside of that in order to successfully and consistently uphold that, like, what needs to happen the night before, what conversations need to be had, what technology needs to be put in a drawer, like all of these small things that set me up for success with that container. And then once I'm in there, yeah, it's like getting in there is the hard part, but once I'm in there, it's so fun and I can just play. And that's where my creativity really gets to be unleashed and I get to go wild and, the magic happens. So yeah, that's really working for me right now. I'm curious, what is like the next frontier that your intuition is nudging you towards that feels maybe a little uncomfortable?
Oh, I think right now I am making peace with the uncertainty. Trust has been my word of the year, and especially as I'm opening this physical space for my business and really transitioning my whole business model in a lot of ways to in person and being in this space, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm really making it up as I go, and there's been so many unknowns, so much out of my control. I think letting go of control. That's my thing right now, and allowing myself to move forward with confidence, even though I can't see the whole plan and I can only see two steps in front of me. And that practice of trust and confidence has really been testing me. And I've learned recently that the etymology of the word confidence comes from trust. like the Latin word, it's like in trust. And so I keep reminding myself, if I trust myself, I can be confident in myself. If I trust my path, I can be confident in my path. So really focusing on trust, path, trust, confidence, letting go of control, allowing for the uncertainty, and just allowing for that empty space and being in that stillness and that pause. And something that you were saying brought something up for me, because I used to find it so difficult to be in that creative container that I would set for myself. Like I would have this structure and the schedule planned to create, and then I would get there and be in that empty space that I had set the container for and be like, this is so uncomfortable. I need to be doing things that are more productive. I need to be filling the empty space. And I had to learn to sit, and that's when I could start let the creative ideas flow, and that's really when my writing started to come out. And so this feels like the next evolution of that, like allowing myself to sit in that empty space and let it all unfold for me from there.
Yeah, so good. And are there any other like tools or practices that you have that support you to shift into trust and confidence, like consistently, and especially when those moments where it feels challenging to you?
Oh, absolutely. For me, because I think the trust is built off of a sense of groundedness and safety, rituals to ground and allow me to find that sense of safety have been really important. So for me, that's going outside, barefoot on the earth, and taking some deep breaths. I try to be outside as much as possible. Every morning, I'm meditating, I'm doing my pranayama, or my breath work, and I'm journaling. And those have been really key rituals for me. Also, tea ceremony is something that I've really incorporated into my life this past year, and I'm now a tea ceremony guide, and that's going to be a big offering at the space, and I'm so passionate about it, and it's been a really grounding ritual for me as well. So those are some of my core ones. Also, ritualizing transition. So if there is a really crazy day and I'm feeling really unsteady and unstable, I will just, from one meeting to the next, light a candle, or from one meeting to the next, take a couple deep breaths. From my work day to my evening, I'll play specific music to signify that this transition's happening and bring myself back into my body. So really finding little moments to weave in these rituals that signal to my body, okay, we can ground, we can breathe, we can be with all that's happening here.
That's some Virgo magic right there. Thank you so much for sharing those. So good. And yeah, will you let people know like what have you got going on? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so right now the core of my heart is being poured into opening this space. It's a ceremonial space, apothecary, and studio for connection. So I will be hosting ceremonies that incorporate yoga therapy, herbalism, human design, tea ceremony, journaling, community connection, all the things. And that is in upstate New York in High Falls, which is in the Hudson Valley. So hopefully opening in a couple months, I will keep you attuned to that. But you can also find me on my Substack, which is really where I'm focusing a lot right now, my podcast and my Instagram, all under Intuitively Wild, and updates about the space will be there. And you can sign up for the wait list at the link in my bio, and that will give you all the first dibs on discounts and offers and schedules and the new website coming and all the things happening. So that's me.
Amazing. And yeah, if you haven't been to the Hudson Valley in upstate New York, like go. Actually, you know what? I feel like Virgo season is like the prime season to go to Hudson Valley when all I guess the leaves change a little later over there. Actually,
Yeah, I would say Virgo to Scorpio season, which, my two seasons. Those are good times to come.
no, it's so incredibly beautiful, like just the mountains and the valley and the lakes and the waterfalls. It's such a magical place.
Mhm.
I lived there for a little bit and just, yeah, had such a great time exploring and hiking, and it's super, super magic. So yeah, I'm super excited for you and sending you vibes for your new space, and everyone go book a train or a plane or whatever it is you have to take to go and get some Virgo magic and get grounded and do some rituals, which, yeah, has never been more important now than ever. And I second everything you said. It's like scheduling in those things that just kind of get us off screens and back into our bodies. Because when we do that, we're present for the magic and for our intuition and for our creativity, which is always leading us to things that, solutions that we're just never going to get as quickly online or through ChatGPT or wherever else we're trying to solve our problems.
Exactly. Disconnect to reconnect is what I always say. Like disconnect from the screens, from the external noise and stimulation, and that will allow you to reconnect to yourself and your intuition and what is truly your path because it won't look like anyone else's. So we have to start tuning into that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rachel. And please share this episode with anybody who you know would love it. And make sure you come back and join us next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.